Okay, it's time to talk about what your pitch deck might look like and how you might pitch your new venture idea in front of a crowd of investors, judges, people like that. So here's what I propose. First of all, know that there is no such thing as a right or wrong pitch deck structure. You should structure your pitch deck however it makes sense to tell your story and to get across the points that you need to get across. The other thing to remember is that the purpose of a pitch is to not get an investment. It's not to get someone to make a decision about your company. It's basically nothing that you see in the outcomes on Shark Tank. That's not real. That's a reality show. The reality is that a pitch is a short way to tell your story to people that might be interested in supporting you so that you can then say, I'm interested. Let's have a meeting. Let's talk more. Let's get into details. So that's what you're trying to do. This is the structure of a pitch deck. And if you don't have a pitch deck structure that you are comfortable with or that is going to fit what you're trying to do, I suggest you take this one and run with it and modify it. So I'm going to go through each of these pieces. If you would like to capture the overall structure, now is a great time to pause the video and do that. But we'll move on. So pitch always starts with a explanation of the people you're trying to serve and the problem that you're trying to solve. So you could start with introducing a personal introduction to one of your customers for the classic, this is Bob, right? And Bob owns an ice cream shop, let's say, but Bob has a problem. That's where you're starting. Or you could start with the addressable market and say, last year, over 2 million people bought ice cream on a weekly basis. And these were primarily served from small ice cream shops in the United States. And you can see where we're headed with this. Because then the next step is to hit whichever one you didn't hit in the first time around. So if we started with, this is Bob, he owns a small ice cream shop, but Bob has tendinitis from scooping all that ice cream. That's Bob's problem. And Bob's not alone. In fact, there are over 20 million ice cream shops out there with people like Bob who have tendinitis, right? That's how you could do it. The other way would be how we started before. We'd say there are over 2.2 million people that eat ice cream on a weekly basis. That means that there are 20 million ice cream store operators that are scooping like crazy, and tendinitis is a real problem. Meet Bob. He's one of those people. So either way, your goal with this introduction is to personalize, let people see who your customer is and help them relate to that customer. So they say, oh, I know somebody like Bob, or I am Bob, and to see, wow, there's a lot of people like Bob out there. This is maybe something that we should do, solve this group of people's problem. So this is a great way to sum all that up. You can say we are elbow helpers for tendinitis, right? And we help ice cream store operators by giving them a more ergonomic approach to scooping ice cream so that they can scoop more, make more money, and be healthy. Right there, you just gave a value proposition pitch. And believe it or not, I didn't script this. I made that up on the fly. Then you move on your pitch, say, well, so this is the solution. Here's how it works, right? You want to know how we're going to provide an ergonomic solution to people like Bob to help them scoop ice cream and change their lives forever. Here's how it works, right? And you introduce your ergonomic ice cream scooping system or product or whatever it is. Get into the details briefly and tell them the story of like, here's what we came up with. This is our idea, right? This is the thing we're doing. After you've explained that, hopefully the audience is thinking, this is great. I'm feeling down with the ergonomic ice cream scooping idea. This is wonderful. And then, but how do you make money, right? So there's 3 basic things you should cover in a pitch deck. And first one is unit economics, right? So what does one sale look like, right? So if I'm going to sell one of our ergonomic ice cream scoop products to somebody like Bob, what does he pay for it? What are the costs of goods sold for that? What is our margin on that one sale to Bob? How much cash do I make when I sell that? So is that a $100 margin that we're making, a $100,000 margin that we're making, a $1 margin that we're making? Those kinds of things matter. So being able to understand the unit economics is something that investors and other people evaluating your plan will want to know. Then I want to know the channels, right? You need to be able to get to people like Bob. How are you doing that? Where do you find Bob? What does it cost to do that? And if I use those channels to try to get Bob, how do I expect that those channels will work? All the customer acquisition stuff that we have talked about. And then finally, the thing they'll want to know is, okay, are you profitable, right? What in the end, if we tally up all the money coming in and all the costs going out, are you profitable? When will your investment model get paid back? Does it make sense for you to operate week to week, month to month? What do you need to break even? What does that look like, right? So those are the big three things. The unit economics, what does one sale look like? Can I understand what one transaction looks like for your company? What do your channels look like? How are you reaching customers and delivering your products to them? And in the end, tell me what I need to know about profitability. Great, you've laid all that out. Hopefully the audience is on board with you and you say, but here's the reason why we will succeed where others might not and why we might have an advantage. This is the place where you would talk about all of the unfair advantages and the resources that you have as a company. This is also a great place to introduce your competitors and why you're different and better than they are. It's a great place to do all those things. This is where I would leverage things like the people that you've gotten on board as a board of advisors. This is where I would talk about special capabilities that you have developed. If you have something like a patent or if you have unique technology, this is a great place to mention this. Just anything that says, great, you might like this model, but here's the reason why we're the team to do it, and this company that we're pitching to you is the one to go with. And then you want to finish this off by getting people excited and calling them to action. So I'll talk about the first part first. So first, this is my patented Buzz Lightyear slide, patent pending actually. You want to say this future is bright and we want you to come join us, right? To infinity and beyond. So one great thing you can do here is remind them about your addressable market. Remind them that you have a great customer who really values what you do. Remember Bob? He's really excited about this product, and you should be too. And there's so many people out there like Bob. This is a big opportunity. Also, this is a great time to empty your parking lot. So I've suggested many times to many teams that you should create a parking lot, a junk drawer, whatever you want to call it, a place where you can dump ideas that you're not ready to pursue right now, but you don't want to lose. You don't want to throw those away. Now is a great time to bring those back. So where are the places we could go in the future? What could it look like? What are the new products beyond, who are the new customers beyond ice cream shops that could use this product? Where will we go from here? What does infinity and beyond look like? And then the final piece is you want to end with a call to action. There's nothing worse than saying, I guess that's it. Any questions? Thank you. That's a terrible way to end a pitch. A pitch is a persuasive speech, basically, just like the kind you may have given in high school. And so the point of a persuasive speech is to get somebody to do something, to change their behavior, to join you, to support something. And so that's what you'd want to do here. I have a suggestion for how you can do that. End with a 3-person call to action, a 3-audience call to action. You can say, so if you are Group 1, which I suggest is always your customer or your user. So if you are somebody like Bob, who owns an ice cream shop and has an aching elbow, we want to talk to you. Then move on to another group. Should be another important group like investors, if you have a social venture, maybe the first group you talk to was the beneficiaries. Say you're trying to help people who experience homelessness. Right? So you may have addressed them in the first group, but maybe your paying customers, the people who are supporting it, who are donating money to help people who experience homelessness, that might be your second group. So in this case, we might say, or, if you are an investor who really is into the ice cream industry, I'm making this up on the fly, so we want to talk to you. And then the third group is everybody else in the room, right? So you don't want to leave anyone out. So your third group would be, you'd say, or if you're anyone who just thinks that ice cream is great, we want to talk to you. We are Safe Elbows, and we are changing the way that ice cream is served forever. Mic drop. That's a good way to end a speech. And that's a way to ask people to join you, even if you're not actually launching the company yet. So think about these things. Put together a pitch deck of some kind. My suggestion to get started is build an empty pitch deck. Have one slide for each of the major things that you want to say, the major questions you know you're trying to answer, and then build from there. That way you have something to work from and you can build it going forward. Good luck, everybody. See you next time.